All right, hello world. Tonight's featured reader is Paul Suter. So you know it's going to be a good day because Paul's here. Excellent. Paul Suter's roots are in the San Francisco Bay Area. He earned an MA in English at UC Berkeley, 1970, and completed a fellowship preparing community college English instructors at the University of Nebraska in 1971. He taught composition, American literature, and environmental literature at Chemeketa Community College. And today, he copy edits Oregon PeaceWorks, enjoys the arts, values political activism, and composes poems. He was married for 46 years to Marcia Claire Hill, teacher, educator, web designer, poet, mother of their two beautiful children, Nathan and Cameron. Marcia lived with the unfortunate impacts of dementia, beginning around 2012 and passed away in 2017. She and Paul began writing and sending a poem each to family and friends, and at Christmas 2007, we started Paul on his poem writing practice. You will never forget this shared creative process with Marcia. So here is Paul Suter.
Could be a little higher, maybe. Hey, hello everyone, friends, family, others who I haven't met in the past. Hello to you all, and thank you for being here. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. And I want to thank Mark for hosting this every week and doing such a fabulous job for that. You know, I'm going to mention one political thing at the start here, just because I know we have so much on our mind. But when I heard that the Smithsonian was going to be changed, was going to be needed a workover, I was really kind of personally offended by that, in the sense that I was a teacher at Chemeketa with history teachers, with film teachers. We worked together. We worked really hard with our students to tell the full American story. And it just seems to me that that story needs to continue in any way that we can make it, have it continue. So, okay, well, I'm going to start with some poems, 3 poems that are set around my home here in Salem that backs onto Mill Creek. And I have 2 poems that are in that direction, and then I turn around and face the sidewalk and street out in front. So here is the first one. It's rather short, and I hope captures a little bit of the creek and that area. Okay, it's called Barren, as in B-A-R-R-E-N. Or it's a play on the word justice. Early fall, just before dusk, searching or touching leaf and flower, as I often touched you, there is no one I need to impress. How can barren be so beautiful? The silver limbs of cottonwoods against a blue sky. From the garden, a handful of lilacs and mint for my tea. Lilt of a Mozart concerto Just this, just this. Okay, this is called convocation. And you might already guess that this is about the crows that gather everywhere and gather, I just see them especially along the creek and in the trees and so on. Convocation. Mid-morning from the south, a dozen crows fly above me to the elm across the creek. They squeal and caw distress. They land on branches near the top of the spiraling snag. With squawks growing louder and louder, they jump from their perches out and away. For one encircling of the elm before returning, this time landing on thin branches that bob with the weight of each. They stay for a few minutes, their constant caws stretching up and down the creek corridor. What calls the crows to this gathering? A fallen crow chief, or a mother bird, a fallen young, an invading hawk or eagle or wild turkey, or neither, an enemy nor a life lost. Maybe they gather to claim a common peace place beneath the sky they briefly call theirs alone. This is why Mark set this here and for my this. Okay, now I turn to the sidewalk in front of the house. And I wrote this poem a number of years ago when the city was repairing the sidewalks. And I went out to them, and they were working very hard, and they had all sorts of tools in their hands. So I went out and asked them, what are these tools that you're using? And then I wrote this poem. It's called Reforming the Sidewalk. Public Works removes the old, lays out the new. Teams dig, scrape, form, fill, and level. Call in the mix of cement, sand, and gravel. Handle shiners, muckrakers, bull floats, edgers, steel trowels, Fresnos, making a fractured way smooth, honed, and grooved. They eye the wet cement like bocce gamers planning an arching toss toward the Polino. They deliberate like curlers concentrating on the gentle slide of stone toward the mark. They are sidewalk players, recasting the cracked, the crushed, the tilted, the broken. Thank you. Okay, I move a long ways away from Salem to Idaho and the Sawtooth Mountains. And this poem, maybe some of you have heard this before. I thought I would read it again tonight, even if you have. And it's called, and I'm looking at someone who helped me with this poem, Eleanor Barry. It's called Arrival. Sunrise Lake Sawtooth Range, Idaho. And I will tell you one more thing about this poem. If you saw it on a page, you would see that it's carefully made into stanzas, and the middle two lines of this poem represent the kind of, because this is about a lake, the funneling of the lake that I'm seeing. Okay. Daylight nearly spent, we hiked down the Punch Bowl Trail to the sunrise shore, the gloaming hour in our hearts. In the dark, the lake pitches bits of rhythm and hoards the night's blue note in every scale. Come morning, inside tents, sleeping bags, fleece, bodies awake, we hope for sunrise at Sunrise Lake. Around us, steep contours of shale await the sun's fever. Light telemeter of warmth brightens peaks, ridgeline, fir, and pine. Energy shielded by mountains at last travels unchecked. Heat gathered to air to rock satisfies skin, rewards rugged hearts at Sunrise Lake. Okay. Another poem that is off to other states, and it has to do with times, times that I did a lot of bicycling, and many of you know that I did. And it is called Invitation, or Let's Ride 75, as in 75 miles, okay? And I'm only going to read one section. I went to Idaho in 2010, Washington in 2011, and in 2012 to Northwest Montana. And I'm going to read this third part of this poem in Northwest Montana. In early light, cold, speechless, we face the Mission Mountains to the east, ridgeline trees like cloud cover. At a southern bay of Flathead Lake, whitecaps and shoreline cuffs and brushes hint of freshwater fissures of the past. Through aspen screens, we discover alpine summer on the backbone of the world. Raven shadows gliding glacial paths. A grassy pond, backlit by golden wheatgrass, reflects bleached stumps, a remote workhouse, rolled bales of hay, and cyclists up ahead. At Kootenai Falls, we are stunned by their roar and by the roiling pools that feed the chaotic boil of tumbling, misting white. The Milky Way, polished necklace of the night, seems to hold the earth aloft, and we are steadied as if tethered to more distant stars. Okay. This is a poem called Voice. If you can walk, you can dance. If you can talk, you can sing. African proverb. I experience a shuddering intake of air more often than I would like these days. But I have lived a long time hearing the voice of rich music and song, words that speak or lift off the page. Listen to the unique voice of each star. You cannot mistake its speech or song, tone, style, and pitch shine. Each one of us in wonderful voice tonight. No one raises his or her or their voice tonight. We sing, we chant with one voice tonight. In a forest of Douglas fir and red alder, I listen and I hear the voice of each sound in and around each tree. Rustle, scuttle, thump, rub, clap. Crunch, scratch, ripple, swish, snap. A writer's voice invites listeners. Stories written or spoken, songs composed or sung. When the night sky speaks, when a wooded path chants. That's it. Okay. I was trying to decide on a last poem of this first grouping, and I'm going to pull out a different one here. This is called Alone at the Edge. I scan an immense lake to its meeting with the sky. A canoe and paddle ready on a sandy beach. The endless expanse of water flags my thoughts. In the woods behind me, my life casts shadows. An aching heart for my wife now gone 3 years, and 5 years before, with the onset of Alzheimer's and its relentless robbery of her brilliance. With ease, I slide beyond the shallows and feel the slap of the lake's low waves. I paddle toward the joy, sorrow, and healing held in the bowl of that lake. I inhale lake scents, conjures its depths and its tree-lined shores. I know how to drag an oar, to turn the canoe toward home, but not yet, not yet. Okay, thank you. I have one more poem, and this one is based on the fact that my mother's father was killed in a bomb explosion in San Francisco on May 22nd, 1916. It was a day that in San Francisco there were 20,000 people along the sidewalks, 20,000 marchers, 52 bands for these Preparedness Day parades. And it was a Saturday. It was relatively nice day in San Francisco. The fog had lifted, and so there were just many people there. Reuben, my mother's father, had been out of work. He was a pilot on a boat that went from San Francisco to Sacramento, and he would take lumber and vegetable and fruit and other items up the river and then bring other things back to San Francisco. Well, he had been out of work, as I said, and he went over to San Francisco on the morning of the 22nd, went up Market Street, got his new papers, and then he started back to the ferry building and the ferry across back to home, which was in Berkeley. There were 4 children in the family, Eva 8, Joe 6, and my mother and her twin brother Vincent, they were 4.5. And so Reuben went up there, and then he started his way back to the ferry building to go home. He would have to return that night or then maybe the next morning to be on hand for his new job that he had gotten. And but Reuben came to the corner of Market, and it's spelled S-E-U-T-E-R, but it's Suter and Market Streets. And apparently, Suter Street there doesn't exist anymore, as I read it. Anyway, Reuben was coming back down, and he was at the corner there, and a suitcase bomb had been placed next to the building right in the corner. And at 2:06, it was set for 2:06 p.m., or maybe it hadn't been exactly set, but that's when it exploded. And Reuben happened to be at that corner at that time, and he was wounded terribly in his legs and a head wound. 6 people died right away. Eventually, I think there were like 30 deaths. Reuben lived for 2 days. Annie Mary, his wife, who became our Nana in our family, she went to the Marine Hospital and was with Reuben for the next 48 hours. He lived. They were going to, as I understand, amputate lower part of his leg. They were getting ready to do that when infection had really set in. It just got worse and worse for him. And on Monday evening, the 24th, he passed away. And so Annie Mary had to come home, that night or the next day to 4 children under 10 and make a new life. Our families with Nana, I think, were aware of the fact that she lived her whole life, without her Reuben, my Reuben, as she said. I don't know how I'm doing on time.
You're fine.
Okay, all right. I have written a lot about this time. Some have been turned into poems, but most of the writing that I've done has not become a poem yet. But I'm going to read one to you. Find it here. And this is focused, well, you will see. You will see. Okay. July 22nd, 1916, 2:06 p.m. The time set The suitcase bomb is placed next to the Ferry Building Saloon at the corner of Market and Suter Streets in San Francisco. The time is set, the suitcase bomb is placed, the plan is complete to demonstrate for all to see that trades and labor need deadly lessons. We want our country to give soldiers away, and as you probably know, we entered the war in the next year. Pure military might unleashed, timed for 2:06 p.m., indiscriminate harm to families and generations. Beneath this street of sunken dreams, a place of worship, prayer, and rest, in leaf and branch, trunk and root, graves of sun-drenched parade watchers. What have others been witness to? The first American casualties of a world at war. That's it.
Great. Thank you, Paul. Wasn't that wonderful? Okay, so we've got a couple of things. On the back table, we have the flyers for the poetry performance. We've got 2 lists. One's for the open mic and one's for the name list. So if we're reading the open mic, you sign up on that one. Or the name list, you sign up on that one. We've got some cookies back there, so eat the cookies. I've been told I'm not supposed to eat the cookies. So somebody else has got to eat the cookies. We've got a couple of anthologies back there that are free, and we have some flyers left over from the Salem Poetry Festival a couple weeks ago from C. Marie Furman. So, and those are free too. So we'll take a little break, come back for the open mic, eat the cookies, and we'll be back in a little bit.